Grady and Caddo County, we've kind of been pushed together as a team now. So our funding is going to be based on, part of it is locally led and part of it is through the state. So Grady and Caddo are a team now, so our funding is lumped together, which makes it a lot harder because now we got to fight Caddo County's applications to get funded. That's just how we've restructured the whole state. We're kind of luckier as a team because we just have 2 counties down south. They've got 5 counties lumped together, which producers in every county are different. They have different needs. They have Waurika and Duncan together, which when you have cropland and controlling mesquites, that always gets hard. So we're kind of luckier that we've got these 2 teams together, well, these 2 counties together as a team, but your input is really important because we can say this is what the producers in Grady County said is important, and we can direct our funding towards that. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to fill those out. If you have any questions, let me know. I can help you guys out.
Water quality, is that surface water or well water?
It can be both.
What's that? I don't have enough numbers.
Yeah.
You know, with all the rain we've had and everything, I've had some terraces wash out, I've had some ponds that are kind of questionable. Is there any funds available? I mean, if you're going through all this, don't get me wrong.
No, you have, the only thing is that if we redo structures, we have to build them up to our standards now. So it wasn't build them back up to what they are right now, it's back to our updated standards. So they might be bigger than what they were before.
You mean like the terrace? I've had several terraces. I don't know about you guys, but I've had several terraces with all this rain.
Yeah.
Since I'm hosted, whether I even need the terraces.
Really?
Because I mean, all it does is pump water over the side and away from my field. And
Yeah, but
it holds
it kind of
water.
runs, the way mine were designed, it kind of runs to a grassland.
Yeah.
It runs to the grassland, and then from the grassland, it kind of runs into a little
Yeah.
catch pond or whatever. But they rusted, and it's going into the road that my neighbors have to drive through, so they're not real happy with me. They're not.
But don't get me wrong, I've still got a gully coming out of one field. Well, at the very bottom of the hill, and I don't, with as much rain as we've had, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's,
I know-till, I've no-tilled in this field, and it's got an issue. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's just too much water come down through there. So anyway. So,
How about
go ahead.
well, how about replant alfalfa?
I wish I could say yes, but I don't, I think that's a no.
I go for it.
Yeah, we do.
This weather hasn't been very kind to alfalfa.
We'll ask for what we need.
Grass is all standing behind the terraces, so it's been, water can stand down for so long.
What?
Well, I know there isn't enough numbers on this thing. Just check them all.
Well, it looks like everybody's kind of done. So I'm gonna move on, or So first off is, I'm gonna talk about, we have two main programs that we cost share on at NRCS. There are Environmental Quality Incentive Program, which is a shorter contract. It's usually a 1-2 year contract. And then we have our Conservation Stewardship Program, and that's about a 5-year contract, so it's a longer contract. We do need, if you do either one, we do need, if you lease it, that you have the lease for either the time of the contract. So on the shorter program, it's usually not a problem because it's a year or two. Usually people have yearly leases, and that'll work. But with our Conservation Stewardship Program, that's where it gets trickier because you have to have a 5-year lease on a place if you want to put it in. I'll start off with our Environmental Quality Incentive one. We do a lot of cost share through that one. We do wells, cropland to grass, cover crops, watering facilities, that's terraces, ponds. We do that through EQIP normally, because you get a higher rate than CSP practice wise. Our cutoff for that one is usually around December for EQIP. And then in Grady County, if you're in Little Beaver Creek, which is south of 17, and that area in the southwest corner of Grady County, that's south of 17 and west of 18, or is it 7? That goes through Rush. I'm horrible with names, but it's that southwest corner of the county. It's got an elevated rate that we can do there, and it's on water quality. We do a lot of fencing off creeks, planting to grass, those types of things there. But we'll be doing that if you have any places down there. Any questions so far on EQIP? We're good. So that's our EQIP program. That's the one we do. The cutoff is in December again. They've gotten really strict. So if you don't get your application in by December, the end of December, you'll have to wait for the following year. So if you've got any fields you want to plant to grass, think about it now and maybe put an application in before then. I know normally we think about planting grass in the spring, but the way our state office has become, they've been really strict on us. We had to just turn away a lot of applications to the next year, this year because of it. And then following up is our CSP program. CSP's changed a lot this year and not at all at the same time. So what used to happen with CSP is that we would get our pool of money, we'd write the contract, and then the first year would be the amount that we take from our pot of money. They've changed it to where we obligate all 5 years of the contract in the year that we write the contract. So it cuts down the number of contracts we can do by a fifth. So it's going to be a lot harder if you want to get into CSP this year. To get into CSP, we got news from our state office that they think Oklahoma wide in the state we might get 100 contracts total, as compared to last year where Grady County we had about 25-ish contracts. So it's going to cut down the number of contracts. We think we might be able to get in 1 or 2, but with funding the way it is, we probably might, we might not. We also have a new, so we have, that's our general CSP, and we have a new one called CSP Grassland Conservation Initiative. We always have a lot of acronyms in the government, but that one, so if you have base acres that are grass in FSA, and you've had them for 10 years, you're eligible for this program. It pays $18 an acre for 5 years. And if you want to get out, it's different from all our other programs because after signing the contract and after we've done the contract, if you want to get out of the contract, whether you terminate it or cancel it, well, if you terminate it, then you well, you have to pay back 10% of the contract. That's the deal with our contract. If you sign them, then you have to do it. But the application and everything before that is non-binding. It's just once we sit down and sign the actual contract, that's what is binding. With this GCI, there's none of that. There's no cap on it. And there's no, you don't have to pay it back. There's no strings attached to it. It's just the solid 18 acres per an acre, and eligibilities through FSA. It's really new, so we don't know what is all going to be in it, but they're pushing it because the deadline for it is June 23rd is when we need to have applications in. FSA is supposed to be sending out letters to producers to notify them if they're going to be eligible or not. I check over there with them because $18 an acre with no strings attached, which
What do
really,
you have to do? No, it's gotta be land that is in grass, that was a base acre of the crop. So if you had wheat ground that you converted into grass, it has to be from what years?
from 2009 till now or longer.
So it's not just pasture land, it's always been pasture.
No, it's
No.
It had to be in,
cropland that
That
you
was
converted.
taken out.
Yeah.
Yep.
In those years, from '09 to now.
2019, 10 years. Which, if you have them, I'd go check with FSA because sounds like a pretty good deal to us. It says you have to meet a resource concern, but I think it's you have to keep it covered, so keep it in grass. The way they're giving it to us.
Who thought of this program?
So,
I mean, think about it, there had to have been somebody in mind that they knew that converted a lot of land in 10 years. I mean, that's pretty specific.
so what happened was, you used to get payments from FSA for having cropland that was grassed. And now that FSA and NRCS upstairs in Washington DC are one, called the FPAC. It's supposed to solve all our problems. Yeah. Oh. But since they're one together upstairs and FSA was doing this, FSA decided, hey, we can't really be doing this anymore. And so they were like, hey, NRCS, you're going to be doing this for us now, okay? And our guys upstairs said, okay. So now we have this here. But there's nothing.
Or did they do the math and figure out it was gonna save them money? Because now instead of paying you the base acres, because that's the deal if they're not gonna pay. Like, didn't they used to pay base acres if you had a cropland, but it was in grass, they would
Yep.
still pay you base acres?
Yep.
So maybe they figured that, crunched the numbers and figured out they're gonna save a little bit.
I think upstairs they figured they weren't supposed to be doing that, but they still wanted to give the farmers that money. So they're like, hey, NRCS, you've got a program that has money, so you're going to do this for us now. And you have, once you get that letter, you have 5 years to apply for it. And the big thing is, if you have a regular CSP, you can't cancel that to go put your land in the CSP GCI. However, since you have 5 years to apply, if you finish your CSP and then apply after your CSP is done, you can still get the GCI for 5 years after that. But we've gotten news from above that we will not be canceling any CSPs that are currently active right now for it. But 5 years. Which it's weird. It's weird to us when they told it to us too, but I don't make the rules, I just roll with them.
So on land, what if you have cropland that you want to plant grass? Is there,
We could, yeah, we have our general equip. We like to do it with that because you get paid more to plant the grass. You can do it through CSP, but it's a 5-year contract. So we could do it in the first year, and then if you wanted, you could get the base payments. because in CSP you get a base payment for, we call them resource concerns. So if you're not eroding your soil, you're you're not degrading your water quality, you're not reducing your organic matter, you get a payment for that. Typically, farmers make about 3 to 4 of those resource concerns in our CSP program, and you also get paid $350 per a resource concern. I know it's complicated. But if you wanted to go the CSP route, you could do it with that. The only thing is, I think in each one you get paid, this year it was about $190 per an acre to spread your cropland field to grass. And then if you do it in CSP, you get, I want to say it's something really low, like maybe like $50 an acre to spread your field to grass, but you also get the base payments for that field every year. I'm sorry.
No, I've never done
Yeah,
any work with the FSA or
yeah,
resources board, so trying to learn, because we have
Yeah.
some that we need to get moved to planted to grass,
Mhm.
but it's hard to afford to do that.
yeah. Also, the way our programs work, it's kind of like a reimbursement system. So you'll do it up front, and then once you do it, we'll go out and check it, and then we'll write you. We'll send you the money. It's through direct deposit.
So
But
we should just come in, there are options, I should just go in.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, come on in. If you ever have any questions, feel free to come in and ask us. There's also the state cost share, which is through the state. And that one, it's got a little bit more leeway. You can do it a lot quicker because it's not tied to the federal government. I think their sign up is still open. However, they've spent all their funds for this year, but they might get rollover in September. We're not sure. Because you can't spend, the rollover, it's from previous years, and if they spend it all now, they don't know how much they have. But feel free to apply for that too. CSP, I guess I'll go over CSP as a program. You get your resource concerns, like I was saying earlier. And so they're $350 a piece. Typically, people get 3 to 4 resource concerns per contract. Is normally how many people score out to get. So you get that base payment every year at the end of the year, and then you get a payment per acreage of either cropland, pasture, farmstead, associated ag, which is, we call like those little parts in your fields that you just miss, or wherever those corners that you can't get. We call those associated ag lands. You get a payment for the acreage of that, and they combine it together. So that's your base annual payment. And then you get paid for the practices that we do. So whether you want to plant a field to grass, if you want to no-till, if you want to cover crop, planting monarch habitat has been really popular this year too. It's through this program that I'd sign up and do that. It pays, I think this year, it's gone down a lot. It's $1,300 per an acre to plant the monarch, which last year it was about $2,000 an acre, so it's dropped a lot, but it still covers your seed and then some. With the pollinator habitat, you have to leave it for 5 years. You can mow it in July if you want, because it does get really weedy and big. But usually those are our programs through CSP. We also do CTA, so if you decide, hey, I don't want you guys to pay for this, I just want you guys to stake a terrace for us, me and Kevin will go out. We can just stake a terrace for you or stake a pond for you. And I think that's the gist of it. I hope I haven't lost you guys. I know it, once we deal with this government stuff, it just gets all jumbled up. Any questions? No?
What's
CTA, so that's just our general, like, conservation technical service is what we call it. And it's just, if you want us to come out and look at something, we can just come out. It's free of charge. Everything we do is free of charge to you guys, because we're a government agency and this is a government service, so. Well, you guys have probably given me the best breakfast I've had in a long time.